Yep, go ahead and share. So this is kind of all done in Django, so I wanted to really push the limits of what I can do with Django. So far, it's pretty capable platform from what I can see. But I started out kind of building my own little wireframe first of what I wanted, trying to dabble in that to see how that would work. Are you guys able to hear me, or is my sound okay? Making sure.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. But yeah, I kind of basically made some basic navigations in PowerPoint to just kind of quickly lay out kind of what I wanted. So this application is basically for a manufacturing site to schedule production line downtime is what it's for. So usually there's a formal process, like a pretty comprehensive form that they'll fill out to basically tell them how long, what the frequency is, and ask some questions about the risk of taking the line down for that particular amount of time. So just kind of give that out of the way. Um, Kind of understanding those requirements, I kind of went from there and started trying to draft and build this and all the models for the database, right? So all these many to many and one to many relationships have all been built. This was probably the most complex part of this whole process was building all the many to many and one to many relationships that all of these different businesses have.
That is insane. Oh my gosh.
These are all based on the business rules that I understand. So I built all these, mapped them based on those business rules that they've already applied, right? So if we kind of log in here and I do like a new request, I'll kind of show you through that. So basically, every time I select a business or anything, it basically it'll start populating questions based on business choices, based on the like if I do like a experimental order, which is EO, it'll also add questions in for that. It'll make them required. So it's very dynamic and very comprehensive where it kind of custom tailored to that individual's request that they're making and it'll meet all the business rules, right? As well as there's a repeat function because sometimes you want things to happen either weekly, maybe you want them to happen daily, maybe you want them to have them monthly or yearly, right? Easily to set that type of frequency up in this tool as well. And then this tool, after I'm done with this one's already deployed to my server. So I'm hosting this server here at my house, but it's all HTTPS and secured. So it's and the backend is actually using MySQL is what it's using right now. But if I go here into some of the requests that I've already put in, as you can see, it's got the full approval workflow. So after I create one of these, I get full history tracking behind it, what the prover we're waiting on, and if I need to like add comments along the way, I can. And of course, if I don't add anything, right? So that's actually a message from Django where it's saying, "Hey, comment was empty," but it didn't actually publish anything. And then you can see who created it, who modified it, who's the owner. And as you can see, since I'm the owner of this, and I'm an admin, so I have different roles in here. So I'll actually show you in the back end real quick because I've actually got the admin part of this set up too, to where I can manage all the users, all the tables. So the main part of that you guys are seeing is this calendar. And if I click in here, you can kind of see here's how all those relationships come into play. Right. So here's all the questions, here's all the reasons and uptime. And basically what I've done is to make those different pieces relatable for like a question, for an example. So if I click on this question, I can have it assigned to a plant. But if somebody selects a certain reason, like if the example that I was giving you guys was EO, as you can see, I can select multiple questions. So I can have another question for that EO. I just hold control and now explain risk will be a required question for that particular choice.
How did you get all the? This is a lot of data. Like,
It's a lot of data, a lot of code. So here's all my API endpoints. So I've created all my own API endpoints in here, as well as using the different template views and redirects. But yeah, it took a lot of.
Yeah,
It took me about a week.
there's no way you
to
built this
build it.
by yourself.
Yeah, it took me a couple weeks to build everything out, but it all works pretty well. Only thing I need to add now, before I deploy it to Procter and Gamble, I'm actually going to put Microsoft 365 authentication to it, and then that way it'll be fully secured that way. And as well, we got a calendar view as well in here, right? So all these filters are sticky; they stay in the session. So if I reload this page, home care will stay selected.
Hey,
And
what's your calendar code look like?
the
Or is that
calendar, this
yeah?
is using Dev Extreme for the calendar plugin, and that's actually a jQuery plugin. Because I built this same thing using Vue. I've used this calendar plugin using Vue before, and I just realized that they had a calendar plugin um, for jQuery, which was really nice.
Well, I've been building my project's not finished, but it's in Python to Django, and like I built out an entire calendar, and it just sucked.
Yeah, this one works really well because, as you can see, I could do different timelines. Like here's a day, here's a week, here's a month timeline. So I could look at, because really, if I'm looking at this from a
That's
manufacturing
perfect.
facility, I want to be able to see, hey, is this going to overlap with anything else that's already, or maybe I want to start my downtime the same time everybody else is. So that way we're all down at the same time. So, I mean, that way you can kind of look and see what the downtimes look like side by side. It kind of makes it easier to make those decisions, right? And you can see here's all my reoccurring events. You can see the little reoccurring icon.
Yeah, I never truly appreciated a calendar until I started trying to code it.
Yeah, I started coding one from scratch, and then I realized it was better just to use a plugin for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of details in here. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff, but there's a lot of like this one. I'm actually like I have a base HTML that I use. This is where all my CSS and JavaScript actually get injected is this base, and then I basically reference, here's all my script references, and then my main page is very minimal, right? So here's my main page. This is like the first page you come to. So everything's very minimal for the amount of, and then of course the messages, like if I don't fill something in, or if I have to select a plant, like all those messages kind of, there's some more work I want to do to make this more responsive for more of like a tablet. For the most part, most people will be using this like on a desktop, on like a traditional laptop or like a PC kind of computer. But this one also has, I'm working on language support. So far I got some of the German features working, right? So it even changes the title, it changes the names, and all of that is controlled with a JSON object that I kind of created in here. So if I go
You
to this,
lost me at German support.
yeah, so I don't know German, I don't know any of those, but I'm making this work globally. So I created this JSON object or this array that has a list of all the stuff that I built in my app, all the different names, right? And then it just basically injects itself into all those text fields. So that's what I'm working on right now is layering that in, is getting the German support and different languages like for Russian or German or whatever I want to put in there.
And with that, that'll conclude all the projects for today. Let's go ahead and do the scutter off.
I was literally just about to say that. We could just go ahead and conclude it all right now. Right?
Oh, stop. Ted, you know you're up next. You're going to be great.
I can't follow that.
Yeah, you can. You got this, man.
Yeah, Scott, this is extremely impressive. Really, really nice work.
Yeah, let me just change the language back. Hopefully,
So,
you guys have any other questions?
so how many years before this class did you do in web development?
So I started teaching myself. Like I started doing Power Apps. I don't know if anybody knows what Power Apps is. It's like a no code building platform, and I realized I was super good at that. I got really good with that, like building these applications, because I actually built this application in Power Apps, which is a no code Microsoft platform, right? So this one is built. And then I have people ask me to add new features, which this Microsoft platform is very limited for that. They don't really have like the nice calendar features that everybody wants. So basically, this was. Let me open it up. I actually think that might be important to show. So is anybody aware of what Power Apps is? So just so I maybe understand the audience here a little bit.
Nope.
I've never heard of it.
The
like
power-
low code development?
It is. So basically, Power Apps is like it's like a PowerPoint. You draw all your boxes, you put in all your logic in here, and then you connect it to Microsoft APIs. And you can see it's already slow to load because I've had thousands of records behind it, and it's all using SharePoint data for everything. But there was some limitations with what I could do on that, and I wanted to really bring it to something more robust that I can put like a full SQL database behind and actually be able to create all these different things behind it. It's a lot easier.
And the data that you have, this is all from your previous like employment, or?
No, I currently work at Procter and Gamble. I'm actually a digital startup leader. Well, and I've just moved into a new role called a digital innovation leader. So along the way, they've made up new roles for me along the way. And this is just my way of challenging myself to make sure that I'm kind of learning through, and because I taught myself how to do this. I've been doing web development for about a year and a half now. So I've taught myself PHP in the beginning. I started with PHP and then just kind of started really reaching and branching off from there, building a lot of other applications. So now I've learned Vue. I've used PHP a lot, use a lot of JavaScript and jQuery, and just a lot of. Now I just can't get enough. Right, I'm trying to learn as much as I can. To really.
So basically, what you're telling us is that you're the person we need to know, right, on every platform.
I just want to be good at every platform as I can. Like Django I use Django very, very little. Like I've built a couple things with it before this class, but man, I've never deep dived into it like I have. Like I didn't realize I could make something this comprehensive with Django actually.
So in answer to that question, Scott, the answer is actually no, because just like the instructors, they're just going to give you a reference website like W3 Schools or Stack Overflow to go to before you ask them the question again.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I just like to make sure you know where to find answers, man. Because I won't always be there. That's for sure.
Okay, so basically, you should drop your LinkedIn profile so we can have access to you. Yeah.
But yeah, so I
Very,
think
very high compliment.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when you quit, I quit.
Very, very cool, Scott. That's
Thank you, guys.
awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I can't wait to see what else you do with it.
Yeah, I have so many other projects. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
Your company's very lucky. All right, Ted, let's go.